Guys, it's currently Saturday morning now, and we just picked up the keys for one of our new properties, but not owned by us, but one of our investors. Now, the investor lives in Dubai, so therefore then he asked us to source the deal, which we managed to do in a great area, and we're converting this residential property underneath permitted development rights, and that means no plans required, into a 6-bedroom HMO. Now, the only sort of oddity the guy had who lived in Dubai in the whole process was the bit of stamp duty you have to pay, which is above and beyond. So it stands out, I think it's around 7% because he's an expat. But that being said, ultimately he earns a lot of money in Dubai and he wants to pump his money back into the UK, into the property market, of which we managed to deliver, finding a project. So let's just quickly walk around. So like I said, it's a 3-bedroom terrace property, and then I estimated around maybe 3 months this will be converted into a 6-bedroom HMO across 3 floors. So what you're standing in now is the current lounge. This will be converted into bedroom 1. There's no structural changes within this room at all. We will add a bathroom within this room, but ultimately no structural changes, just needs a revamp and then so on, and that will be an easy room to do. Now, when you go to the middle of the property, guys, this is where the fundamental change will be. So this currently now is a sitting room, lounge, whatever you want to call it. This will then become the home, the hub, home or house of the hub, whatever the saying is. It'll become the kitchen of the HMO. So we'll change the kitchen from the back of the property to the middle of the property. But why do we do that, guys? Ultimately because the floor space is bigger, but not big enough, if I'm really honest. So what we've agreed already with the council is, and building control and the investor, is this wall here will be moved back broadly around 1 metre. Why do we do that, guys? Ultimately because you have requirements of space sizes within HMOs. By moving the wall back a little bit, it does have some structural changes to the property, but ultimately, guys, you'll get the floor space, and more important, it will be a compliant HMO. So, kitchen in the what was the lounge. Now, if you move to the back of the property, I'll take you into 2 areas. So, this is currently the kitchen. Not too much interested in the kitchen, if we're totally honest with this property. All of it will be gutted. The only fun fact in this one is it's got numbers on the cabinets. So actually, it was already a HMO before we picked up the keys for the investor. But if you go upstairs, when we will do in a moment's time, then you'll see that obviously it was a compliant HMO because no fire doors, no fire strips, no the front turn locks. But let's go back to the floor space here. So if you remember, we said that in the kitchen there, we're going to move the wall back by 1 metre, and therefore then the kitchen will become a little bit smaller. How do we resolve that then? So let's come back right to the back of the property. You have this eave space here, which is brought broadly around maybe 2-3 square metres. And then that opening will happen within this space here, open it back up, and the kitchen, what was the kitchen, becomes the normal size of what it originally was. And this, guys, here will be bedroom number 2 with an ensuite. Now, it feels a little bit small, but once the kitchen's gone, once the walls have been adjusted, it'll be a great room. I'll talk about the renovation costs when I'm upstairs, but let's just go upstairs and take you through the changes up here then. So let's go through the easy stuff first. So at the back of the property, you've got bedroom number 3, good sized room. I'll show you where the bathroom was. We're not doing anything major in here. Everything will remain the same in terms of, you know, we will rip out the floors, do some plastering, but broadly everything will remain the same. It has already its own bathroom. So this bathroom will all be gutted out, ripped out, and then we will install a brand new bathroom within this space for bedroom number 3 and bedroom number 4, of which I'll show you now. So enter the middle of the room, or the middle of the house. This will be bedroom number 4. Again, no fundamental changes in here. The only thing we have said to the investor is possibly getting rid of this chimney stack over here. That would mean then we'd have to get rid of the bottom. It would be further structural changes to the overall property. And guys, you need a party wall agreement, something of which we've managed to do before the completion of the property. But how did we do that? The best thing to do is when you're buying a property is understand who owns the side properties between them. And just by sheer luck, when the investor bought this property, he also owned next door. So as part of the agreement was, happy with the price, happy to complete, but we want a party wall agreement signed to allow us to do the work on day number 1. Let's go in the back of the property, or the front. So this is and will become bedroom number 5, guys. Obviously, I'm not good at curtains. Get some light in here. Bedroom number 5. Now there is some fundamental changes here because this is the entire floor space of the property what I've walked you through. And it did say it will be a 6-bedroom HMO. So where on earth are we going to squeeze the additional room? And that is upstairs, up here. So the idea is what we've signed off between the architect and builder control already is these walls here are well above the normal requirements under builder control or ceilings rather, will be dropped down. New staircase will be up here, going upstairs, and ultimately that will feed then the 6th bedroom, of which guys will have an ensuite in it. Overall, a 3-bedroom residential property, guys, will be turned into a 6-bedroom HMO, which will be valued on a commercial basis. The beauty about this home is we have the hospital only 100 metres away. This property, once it's done to a high standard in a non-Article 4 area, will be rented out like guys. Now the end value is critical, right? But before I take you through the beauty of the numbers, the renovation costs. Now, albeit this property is in actually good condition, you know, the walls arguably, they could just be skimmed over. We want to do this to a quality HMO, and there is fundamental works which is going up within the loft, introduction of new en-suites, the kitchen be relocated. You know, all those things come to a cost, but we've estimated, guys, roughly around £100,000. Now there is some flex in there. Underneath Titan Lettings, we put a contingency underneath those numbers, but ultimately around 100,000. Now some people who's watching this video might go, wow, I bought the property for 150 all in, they're going to spend £100,000 on it, but how much will actually be refinanced at? Now within this area, guys, we know rooms in a non-Article 4 area can be rented out between 550 all the way up to 620. If you take the mid-range, £600, sorry, then ultimately, guys, we think, being conservative, we will get £300,000 commercial valuation against this property, if not higher. We can push up the room rent to around 650 because the quality of this will be done, but we have to be conservative. When we sold it to the investor, we prepare a number of different options against different outcomes. What happens if it's valued at a bricks to mortar? Roughly it's around 220. What happens if it's not valued on a commercial valuation? Well, revert back to bricks and mortar. What happens if the price fluctuates between, you know, 650, 600, 550? All those scenarios are given to the investor upon them wanting to proceed with the deal of which we propose to them. So they understand the numbers, we understand the numbers, and ultimately we do recognise that we'll get it under the 100,000 because we have contingency within it, and we use the same trades against all these properties. How quick do you think this property will let out? Underneath Titan Lettings, our average between any home of which we own or is transferred from a landlord to us is roughly around 3 weeks.